All right, it's possible that this is my prototype package. I ran outside. We're gonna find out the reason why this was delayed. If this was the damage, the reason that it was held, I'm gonna be mad. Here we go. Please be my prototype. Oh, it is! It is! Oh. Oh my gosh! Wow! Okay, I'm gonna open them and I'll come back later. Hi, it's Jay from Iridescent Tarot, back with some more sparkle for you. So today I have my official prototype of Tarot Monet Amis, the curated art impressionist tarot deck that I created. Tarot Monet Amis is an 83 card curated art tarot deck comprised primarily of impressionist paintings from late 1800s France. As Claude Monet and Auguste Renoir were both heavily featured in this deck and also lifelong friends, the title is a play on words and an ode to Monet and his contemporaries. May this deck serve you well in your tarot readings, Mon Ami. So I have a sturdy 2-piece box here with the thumb cutouts. We have the label on one side and then a little bit of info on the other. And here's the booklet. Here's the inside of the box. So since this is a prototype, there are still a couple little things to flesh out, and like fixing the alignment and the formatting of the text is among the things that I still have to work on. So this will be shifted over a little bit, and then the formatting of the text is going to be different. So here's the booklet. The cardstock is 330 GSM black core matte linen. So it has that matte swishy sound when you rub the cards against each other. And I have two prototypes here, one with a shiny gold metallic gilding and one with matte purple with a hint of sparkle edges. I need to know what you think. In my mind, this was the version that I was trying to bring to life, bring to fruition, but after seeing the purple in hand and also knowing that many people like a nice matte edge, I'm struggling choosing between the two. So I would love if you'd comment below and let me know what your preference is between the two. One of the adjustments made from my MPC prototype is that the font on all of these cards is the same size on the official edition, whereas on the original MPC prototype, you could see that the font size varied, like however long the word was how, dictated the font size. So for the official edition, the font size is the same across every card. If you want a very in-depth walkthrough, I will link to my original MPC prototype flip through, and that almost functions as like a video guidebook as to why I made some of the choices that I made for images. In this flip through, I'm just going to focus on what these cards look like here without as much backstory to why I chose the images. However, I will point out the paintings that I changed from that original MPC prototype because there were 10 paintings that I switched for the official edition, and I want to make sure that you see exactly the images that you'll be getting if you choose to purchase this deck. It's really wild having this thing that you came up with in your mind manifest into reality, and just being able to hold this official, prototype in my hands. There's just something so special about that. As somebody who's been reading tarot for 10 years now, and collecting decks, I have a really good understanding of the decks that have been offered before and what's available right now on the market. And while I love curated art decks, I kept seeing deck after deck of the Pre-Raphaelite artwork coming out. And while I love that, don't get me wrong, I love those decks and I think they're so beautiful. I was like, when is somebody going to release an impressionist version? And I was waiting and waiting, and I was finally like, okay, I guess I'm gonna take matters into my own hands and make it myself. Okay, here's the first card change. This was a tough one because I really liked the guidebook entry I had written for it, and so it was hard to let that go. But I felt like as I was using the deck and seeing it in spreads, the color palette of this card specifically just didn't vibe with the rest. And I mean, she's holding a wand. Like, what more could you ask for? I'm in love with this cardstock so much. It's one of my most favorite cardstocks of all time. The Six of Wands also changed. This image, when laid out amongst Others just came off as very like a sickly green, and I felt like this still accomplished the same function in a way that sat better with other cards in a spread. This is the old Seven of Wands and the new. I felt like this was a better depiction of the meaning of Seven of Wands. This made sense in the context of if you knew what the painting was about, but this made more sense if you're just looking at it without having to know the backstory. I love this card so much. It's one of my favorites. Again, while I really loved the write-up for this card, I felt like this Queen of Wands fit in better aesthetically with the rest of the court. It was important for me that the court makes sense as a family, and I felt like she had a more fiery look to her. A reminder that all of the aces are close-up of hands and something related to their suit, and that all of the court cards are people and all of the majors have no people, so they're mostly landscapes, except for the Sun card, which does have one child in it. The Six of Cups. For such a fun reminiscent card, I didn't like how dark this card printed, and when I found this image of a girl in a rowboat, it made me think of all these different nursery rhymes. Row, row, row your boat, and Mother Goose, and Duck, Duck, Goose, and all these different childhood elements. So I thought that this fit the idea of Six of Cups just a little bit better. Of course, some of the, cropping of different images was changed just to suit the cards better. I spent a lot of time making sure that I loved the composition of all of these images. The Queen of Cups changed. As much as I loved this with the mother who had her baby and she's gazing off into the water, I felt like we had a similar vibe here with the mom and her child in the water, but it just fit the rest of the deck a little bit better. And again, here is our Cups family. Three of Swords changed. This was the old Three of Swords, and here's the new. My entry that I wrote for the guidebook is Love is a battlefield, head versus heart, melding together, tearing apart. And this painting is The Battle of Love by Cezanne. Four of Swords changed. While I liked this, I felt like I really wanted to focus in on the idea of a poppy field, kind of thinking about the poppy field in the Wizard of Oz and the sleepiness that would induce. And so this painting is Poppy Field by Monet. While I really liked the moodiness and kind of enclosed feeling of this card, I have always been very much drawn to the Eight of Swords as the idea of a bird in a bird cage and the doors open, but the bird not being willing to escape their own entrapment. So I felt this was a clearer way to depict this card. And I had liked this image because it looked like there was some kind of almost a mirage there, but when I was originally going through all of the artwork, I had saved this particular painting for the Nine of Swords because this was one of the paintings that Van Gogh had made while in the asylum. And it's almost like the way that this is painted, it's like a fun house mirror. And so for this, I quoted Van Gogh directly. He said, "The heart of man is very much like the sea. It has its storms, it has its tides, and in its depths, it has its pearls too." So that's it for all of the card changes. Obviously, it was difficult to let some of those cards go, but I feel very confident in the changes that I made, and I have used the deck already with these new cards in them, and I love the way that it reads. I feel like it's very cohesive. I don't feel like there are any cards that stand out, and I'm just so happy with the final outcome. I also really want to thank everybody who has had any kind of support for me or this project during this time, whether that's creators who helped me with the printing process, or all of the tarot tubers who have been so supportive and congratulatory, and every single message that I've received about excitement over this deck. I want to thank everybody so much from the bottom of my heart, truly, for encouraging me to move forward with this project and enjoying it as much as I do. This last card, it's supposed to be one of these title cards. I'm not sure why it wasn't printed. So again, that's a little fix that will need to be made. So I'm going to take out the 5 spread cards and shuffle the deck for you. So just so you have comparison, this is standard tarot size, and Tarot Monet Amis is just a hair shorter, but a decent amount wider, and that's to accommodate all of the horizontal images, the landscape images. All right, I already know that I'm gonna love this shuffle, so beautiful. I'm so excited about this. Beautiful. You all know how important cardstock is to me, so I wasn't gonna scrimp out on the quality of the cards in any way. Let's do a nice overhand. Aw, Page of Cups. For her, I wrote pink cheeks and a watering can full of hopes and dreams. And it's true, I have poured so much into this project and it is full of my hopes and dreams. Like, this is something that I never really envisioned myself doing for real. I just kind of like making decks for myself, and the fact that there has been any level of interest in what I have to share, it has been so heartwarming. And of course, anytime that you make something and share it with the internet, the public, it's going to feel like you're putting your heart on the line. You're being vulnerable. You are exposing yourself to the thoughts and opinions of anyone who then encounters your art. And while I'm not the one who painted all of these paintings, I am the one who chose them to be included in this deck, and have done my very best to allow them to speak to the archetype that they are meant to embody in this deck. And also poured so much time and thought into the guidebook so that it could be a thread of understanding between why I chose each painting for each card meaning. I included one spread in the book, and I want to do a little, let's lay some cards down. As I wrote in the guidebook, these elemental cards were intended to be kind of spread placeholders to use for this particular spread that I included in the guidebook. But you can use these cards however you want. So if you wanted to just shuffle them into the deck and use them as sort of impromptu oracle cards, or create your own different kind of spread that utilizes them, that's wonderful too. You can use them however you like. You don't have to use them at all. You can put them on your fridge, like I do a lot of times with the extra cards that come in decks. They just go straight up on my fridge because I like looking at them. Let's take a look at some 3-card spreads. Yeah. I'm so happy with the way that they came out. I think that they communicate effectively and work well together, and they look beautiful. And they're a pleasure to shuffle and enjoyable to hold in the hand. The size is exactly what I wanted, and I couldn't be more. I couldn't be happier with them. I hope you love them too. So obviously, because I'm just a normal person with a normal job and a family, I don't want to go overboard with buying a ton of decks. So it was really helpful to me to see how many people might be interested in purchasing a copy by emailing me. Now that I have seen the official prototype and know the small adjustments that need to be made, I will be placing the full order soon. So I don't know how many extra copies I will have once I've kind of ordered the amount that I think is appropriate based on the number of people who have emailed me with interest. So if you think that you might want a copy, send me an email at iridescenttarot@gmail.com. There's only one T, iridescent tarot with one T in the middle. I'll put that in the description box. And if you haven't emailed me yet, but you think that you might want a copy, let me know, because I will be solidifying the number of decks that I'm ordering pretty soon after posting this. And I definitely want to make sure that there's enough for however many people are interested. Now, because there are so many complications with international shipping right now, honestly, even getting these prototypes to me was a pretty big hassle. The package came from across the world and made it through all these different locations, states, and it was fine. And then it landed 2 towns over from me and was declared damaged, and they almost didn't deliver the package. I had to call and talk to UPS countless times in order for them to just deliver this one package. But it was very important to me that I would have a version of this deck available for anybody living abroad. So I racked my brain on ways that I could accomplish that, and the best solution that I came up with was this little guy here, and this is our Tarot Monet Amis Passport Edition. And so Passport Edition being like, it's going international, baby. But also it's small. So these cards are 2.5 by 3.5 inches, or for our international folks, 63.5 by 89 millimeters. It's gonna come in this tuck box with a guidebook, the title card, copper gilding on the MPC linen cardstock, and comparison to standard tarot sizes here. So this is like a pocket passport edition. So this will be available through MPC and will ship anywhere that MPC ships. So even if you were in the US and wanted to get a mini copy, I plan to make this available at the same time that I release the full-size edition. So I'll do a super quick flip through of this. But yeah, this is so fun because I love having mini decks, and while I would have loved to be able to offer the same size deck on MPC as the full-size version, they just don't carry that size. And the original tarot size, the 3.5 by 5, was just so large in the hand. And particularly with some of the portrait images, it didn't feel right. But in this little mini size, it truly is like a little pocket museum. And so I've been waiting to make this video, but now that I've made the video, I'm gonna put this copy in my purse and be my little travel deck. So all the images are the same as the full size. I standardized the font on this as well. The guidebook entries are the same, the write-ups, and the elemental cards are still here. They do have a different back. MPC allowed me to do that while the official printer did not. So that's one little cool thing for the passport size. So I've never sold on MPC before. It's gonna take a little bit to get that set up, and I am most likely selling the full-size version through Etsy. And like I said, that will be available to the US only, but this pocket size will be available wherever MPC will ship. Let's see how it shuffles. Lovely. I just love linen cardstock. It never fails. Overhand. 10 of Pentacles. 10 of Pentacles. This child is blissfully unaware of the true wealth that she will inherit. Speaking to generational patterns and what gets passed down through the ages and leaving a positive legacy. Back into the tuck box. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, subscribe, all the things. And specifically on this video, let me know what you think about the edging. Thank you for being here with me, and I appreciate you so much. Talk to you later. Au revoir.